Alright, I'm going to film my repair process here on my S14 gas tank. I've got two of these guys and they both split in the same spot. Finally got a chance to pull the exhaust and pull the rear subframe down, and I'm going to plastic weld repair this, and I wanted to film the process. I just got done washing it. Now I'm letting it dry, and you can see, well, this is the tank here. This is the top part, and this is where it comes down into the seats, and then your strap comes up here in the middle, and that tension from the strap and the weight of the gas is what gives you your split here. You can see it there. So I get that shot. There's my split. It goes from about here to about there, right on the seam there. So I'm going to end drill this to stop that crack from spreading on both ends there, and then we're going to weld it in place. Now I have previously used gas and oil resistant RTV to seal one of these leaks before, but eventually, because if you don't end drill and stop this crack, the crack continues to spread and then it'll start leaking again. I got a couple of years out of it as a temporary fix to get me through what I was going through, but it's time to properly repair these guys. So that's it. I'm gonna get set up, let this dry out properly, clean this out, and then I'll film this and we'll see how it goes. Alright, I got my stuff set up here and I got the iron plugged in, and while we're waiting for that to heat up, we'll talk some nerd shit about the plastic and stuff like that. These gas tanks are, this is designed by Nissan. In the 80s, Nissan put a lot of money forward to develop these type of plastic tanks to resist for something that wouldn't rust out, and also, as you can see from the unique shape of these gas tanks, the way they're fit into the back seat, it allows them to package the gas tank, a larger tank, into a smaller area. I mean, these tanks are like, I don't know if I remember, like something like 18 or 19 gallon in a little two-door sports car. So pretty impressive space and fuel capacity for a smaller car, and that's due to how it's shaped. And these are the two seating spots, and there's the drive shaft down the middle. So really kind of open up some doors for them for properly packaging gas tanks. These tanks here are made from HDPE, so high density polyethylene, and according to the label there, it's sandwiched on a PA6, which is a polyamide nylon layer in the middle. Now the HDPE is more fuel resistant and oil resistant, but it's not good for weathering, and one of the biggest issues with HDPE is it's prone to stress cracks there. So I guess they mixed it in with some nylon. Apparently it's layered. Maybe we'll see when we get in here and drill if we can see some of that layering. But that nylon would give it a little bit more pliability and some impact resistance, keep it from cracking like you see here. That PA6 nylon is a lot of times what you'll see in your tools like this. That's what these are made of. These are PA66 glass fiber reinforcers. Glass fibers built in here to give it some rigidity. The nylon's very flexible. It's resistant to cracking, but it's very flexible. And then the glass fibers are filled in there, 20 or 30% to give that tool some rigidity to keep you from, cracking it when you throw it around and drop it inevitably. So we are going to fill this in with an HDPE. This is an old bottle here that had some chemicals in it, and I also have some HDPE strips here that actually come with the plastic welding. So we're going to fill this in with the HDPE, which would be good for resisting the intrusion of the gas that's in there, but obviously won't really help out with the impact resistance that the nylon, the PA6, is providing. So I also have this metal mesh that I'm hoping to incorporate in here and weld this across the entire area to try to give some rigidity and spread some of this stress that's being pulled here out over a larger area. The first step we have to do is end drill the ends of the cracks. The reason why you end drill on the end of a crack there is because when you have a crack that's spreading, all of the tension is really focused on a very, very, very small point there, and that's what allows it to continue cracking because it's all being spread out in one tiny little spot there. When you end drill and you put a hole there, the force from this slight crack is spread out over a larger area, a bigger circle there, and that is able to distribute that stress a little bit more and stops it from cracking farther. So that's why you always end drill. And then usually you end drill proportional to size to the crack that you have. I'm sure there's some specific rule or measurements on that, but I'm gonna drill out, end drill here, what I think, or stop drill, what I think that it'll be easy to fill in. And that's the process there. This crack seems to go down through the focus seems to go down through the seam there, so that's going to be an issue. I'm going to try to figure out if I'm going to come down past the end of that and see what's going on here in this seam. And that's it. All right, I'm gonna get myself set up here, and we'll start with drilling, and then we'll go from there. Oh, almost. Call that one a success. That one looks pretty good too. Alright, I'm going to use my heat gun here to heat up and soften this entire area. Should be able to get it hot enough to where it's kind of pliable and tacky. And that'll help speed up our welding process. So I'll get that heated up and then we'll move to it. I am going to be using these white bottle there. It's not going to color match very good, but I'm hoping that it'll allow me to see better where I'm flowing the plastic into it. So this goes under the car. I'm not worrying about it cosmetically. I'm more worried about the strength of this and not leaking and cracking again in the future, because I really don't want to have to pull all this apart again for this leak. So that'll be the setup, and then next step will be welding this in. Alright, I got some good heat on that, and I used my knife to kind of open up that crack there. And then I'm just gonna do a test here to see. Oh yeah, that's working pretty good. See what we can do here and flow some of this in there. I know I'm in the sun, so it probably doesn't look the best, but this tank is about a 1/4 inch thick. So I'm going to try to feed in as much as I can. And also just try to help. I mean, you could probably get away with just remelting the tank back together, but I'm adding some filler to help relieve the expansion in this spot here. Not really sure what the best method is here, so I'm just kind of try it. Actually, that works good. I like that there. I'm going to use this to open up this split here, and then come back down over top of it and backfill it. And like I said, I'm pretty happy with this because the white allows me to show where I'm adding the new plastic to, and not just where I remelted the original plastic. Alright, I won't bore you with the whole process. I'll do a little time lapse and check back in after I get this done. Alright, this is what we ended up with. I'm going to let that cool down. It's still pretty hot. It's lunchtime around here, so we're going to get some food and then we'll come back and clean this up and see how it looks. Feeling pretty good. I feel like I got some good penetration down there into that crack. Got a lot of extra heat on. I went back over top of it with the heat gun to help flow the entire area a little better. You can kind of see how it's slightly sunken in there. So I know I got good heat penetration through it. So anyways, yeah, we'll let that sit. We get some lunch and we'll come back and check it and put some stress tests on this and see how it goes. It looks pretty good. I'm actually considering not putting the mesh on, but we'll see how it goes when it fully dries and I put some stress on this. All right, this is what we ended up with. I wound up going back and flowing some more on top there to try to build it up and give it some more strength. It was showing a little thin down the middle, and then I went back and scraped some of it off there to try to show it a little better. Pretty happy with how it came out. Not the prettiest, but once again, we're going for strength here. I'm feeling pretty good about it. I'm gonna let this cool down fully and then get it on the ground, and we're gonna do some stress testing on this to make sure it doesn't split or crack or open up again, at least not super easily. And then from there we'll see. I also have another tank here that I can work on. This one's actually not split. There's no crack. This one's actually intact, so I don't have the issue there of the crack right here, but it has these barb fittings need to be repaired. So yeah, I'll get back to you once this is cooled down. All right, just wrapping this up. I gave this appropriate amount of time to cool down. I propped the tank up, and then I placed a piece of wood under here the same width as the strap and put it where the strap is. That's what causes this deflection, is the strap pulls up and then this wants to split and actually wants to bulge out from it compressing here and then wants to split there. So I put some weight on it and checked it out. It does still flex in that area, so that means that the weld that we did is not super rigid. It's nice and flexible still. So hopefully that'll hold. I'm feeling pretty confident that's going to hold the leak, and it came out pretty good looking. Probably going to refrain from filling the tank all the way to the top to help keep some weight off of these joints as this tank and the car ages. Maybe that'll help, especially with, like, you know, sniffer suspensions and the, you know, let's like just ignore the way I drive, and the extra weight of the fuel in the tank is probably putting a lot of stress on these. So try to relieve that some by not putting as much fuel in there, because let's be honest, I'm definitely not going to change the way I drive for it. So anyways, that's where it's at. I also have a bad fuel pump, so I'm going to swap that out with a high flow Warblow and get this all put back together and installed. I'm probably not going to film that process or the follow-up, because I'm confident this is not going to leak, and the other stuff is, you know, other parts of this project. So that's all I got. I hope that this helps some people out for an alternative to spending an obscene amount of money on a non-crack tank that's definitely just going to crack anyways for you in the future. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions or need any help with it. Catch you guys later.